Join Nancy and I on our 42-year-old motor yacht LP as we explore the waters of Washington, British Columbia, and maybe even Alaska. Two old people on an old boat. What could possibly go wrong? If you enjoy the video, be sure to hit that like button, and if you really like it, consider subscribing. It really helps me out. Everyone has probably been wondering what happened to us after the last video was published nearly 12 months ago. Well, a lot has transpired since. In this video, we will explain what happened that day and share our plans for the future. I'll pick up where we left off in the last video, spending the night in Watson Cove, just off Lacey Falls, after a rather rolling night. Our destination was the Lagoon Cove Marina. It was a blustery day, with light chop the whole way, but not an uncomfortable ride. We arrived at Lagoon Cove in the early afternoon and were immediately impressed. Lagoon Cove is a full-service marina located at the north end of East Craycroft Island, just southeast of the Broughton Archipelago in British Columbia's pristine northern waters. Each evening, the marina hosts a potluck appetizer happy hour on the deck of the workshop. Each boat brings a small dish to share, and the staff provides a bowl of fresh-caught prawns to be shared by all. It was great fun and got to meet fellow boaters and swap sea stories, and the prawns were delicious. Early the next morning, we started out from Lagoon Cove Marina to our next destination at Blind Channel Resort. We proceeded down the narrow Catham Channel without incident. We were in Johnstone Strait, heading southeast with a good current behind us. We were running along the shore of Hardwick Island when the accident occurred. And yes, that is LP on the rocks. We could go on for days about how this happened, but in short, it was a chain of events that could have been prevented. I handed over the helm to Nancy to sit in back of the flybridge, where I had restricted view forward, and eat a sandwich, without briefing her on the possible hazards ahead. I also took for granted her understanding of the navigation and course displayed on the plotter. Also, we had a current pushing us slightly towards the shore. Our autopilot was not functional either. Nancy was hand steering. In short, lots of things added up to the crash, but mainly my complacency and really wanting to eat my sandwich were the main cause. So there we sat, lodged hard on the rocks. I knew we had running gear damage, as the port engine had stopped abruptly when we hit. I was unsure of hull damage. I called Mayday, and Canadian Coast Guard immediately responded. Fortunately for us, we were only a short distance of the fast response unit stationed at Kelsey Bay. They arrived in short order and inspected the damage. They were unsure of the hull damage, but thought we hadn't been penetrated. We were unsure because the damaged portion was above the waterline. They believed the best thing was to stay on Ella and wait for the tide to refloat us. We can't say enough thanks to the Canadian Coast Guard. They checked on us every couple of hours, helped arrange a tow, and basically made us feel safe for the almost 9 hours we were on the reef. That's right, 9 hours. And for most of that time, at a 30-degree list. It was very uncomfortable. Nancy got some great shots of our view to port from the flybridge as we listed towards the rocks. As evening approached, our towboat arrived, and as the tide came in, they were able to pull us off the reef. As soon as the damaged area was back underwater, we discovered we were taking on water. Our tow captain towed us to a private dock near the reef, where we learned that the locals had been watching over us all day. When we determined that our bilge pumps would not keep up with the leak, he put a bigger pump and generator on board, along with his crewmen to monitor it. Then we were off to Campbell River. And so began the long 5-hour tow to Campbell River in the dark, monitoring the bilge pump, fueling the generator, and avoiding cruise ships. We even met one right at the entrance to Seymour Narrows. We arrived at Campbell River at 4 a.m. and moored at the fuel dock until Ocean Pacific Marine could lift us out. We got a short couple hours sleep. Then, since we were taking on water, Ocean Pacific wanted to get us out of the water ASAP. We got our first look at the damaged hull and also the prop. While it didn't look terrible, it proved to be more extensive, with a crack extending almost 5 feet back from the impact point. The prop could maybe be repaired, and we had to also check the shaft, etc. for damage. Fortunately, our insurance was very helpful in cooperating, and after we considered the strength of the US dollar in Canada, we decided to pull the trigger on several other upgrades we had been considering, so we left Ella on the Heart in good hands at Ocean Pacific Marine and flew home. Rest assured, nearly a year later, Ella P. and her crew are back to sea, and have been for a while. Stay tuned for more details about our upgrades, experiences, and where we've been. And oh yeah, we put a few miles under the keel since the crash.